Welcome to our Nini SR channel.
Finally, I told Jess about Loxley's other side, which was only known by her family and her close friends last night. Jess didn't sleep a wink. She keeps pouring questions at me. Last night. But let me tell you something about Loxley, why I told you to stay away from her. It's your choice to tell Nevin after what I said. Okay? I asked. She nods at me and helps me to sit on the bed and look at her. I held her hand and started telling her about Loxley no one knew. Okay. Loxley's family were our next door neighbors. They move out because of Nevin. After the accident that led Nevin to get his power, he isolates himself in his room. So, everyone in our family blames Loxley. Even Loxley also blamed herself. She stops talking with everyone and doesn't leave her house. When they moved out, her mother married into the Hughes family, and that is when she became a whole different person. It's not I told you to stay away from her because of her family, I told you to stay away from her because of herself. Since I have been close with Hensley, I got to know about everything she did. When her stepfather sent her to convent school, she been stayed away from her family and focused on her studies. At first, her family thought she wanted to be good at her studies. Later they got to know she was not only focusing on her studies, she also started to take self-defense classes, and likes kickboxing, shooting and so on with her friends. She and her other 4 friends had a well-trained licensed gun before they even finished high school. A week after her high school graduation, she and her other 4 friends are kidnapped by one of the top mafias. Since they are the top 5 billionaires' children, they held them as a hostage to get military weapons for 3 months. That time I was trained to become a police officer, so, I was also on a mission with the whole army to find them. We didn't have a single trace to find them. But on the 97th day, they all get home without anyone's help. After that, we all got to know they were being held on an island. And we get how the masterminds, she and her friend. They all escaped themselves from that gang by slaughtering every single person on that island. Since they burned the whole island, we didn't know how they were killed. Till today, no one found that mafia leader. But she herself told me, her and her friends still have him in one of the places they own. They are like 5 different people with 5 different masterminds. I still remember how they look when they get back home from that island. They looked like they had taken a bath in blood, but they didn't have a small cut on their bodies. After that kidnap, their bond became unbreakable. If you hurt one, you will get 5 different types of revenge. We can't even mess with a single person. When I broke up with Hensley, our family went bankrupt in business because of them. After Hensley confirmed that she was the one who broke up with me, they left us. When Hensley died 5 years ago, their whole target was me. Since they didn't have any evidence against me, they let me live. When one of her friends was kidnapped 3 years ago, half of the army of our country was on a mission to find her. But Loxley and her friend were the ones who found her. That is when she gets on fire, and she had face surgery and became a whole different face. When I first saw her at one of your events, I didn't even recognize her. I get to know her when you ask me for her information. I even know Nevin can't hear her thoughts, and he can't hear others when he is with her. That is why I told Nevin to stay away from her. If Nevin makes a single mistake that slightly hurts her, she will hurt everyone behind him. I promised her I would never get involved in her business for my whole life when I met her at Hensley's funeral. We already suffer enough because of the Hughes family. I didn't want you to suffer by her because of Nevin.